No matter how poor you are, you should set up an ancestral altar in your home so that you can get in touch with your ancestors always rooted in your tradition, in your ancestors. That's part of the culture of our country. So the lady was told by her husband to go to the marketplace and do some shopping, so that they will prepare an offering to be placed on the altar to announce the good news of the return of the son. And meanwhile, Mr. Trương tried to persuade the little boy to call him daddy. Call me daddy. And the little boy said, no, sir, you are not my daddy. My daddy used to come every night. My mother used to talk with him a lot every night. She cried a lot to talk to him a lot. And every time my mother sit down, he sat down. Every time my mother lie down, he lie down talk also. So when the young husband learned about that, all his happiness evaporated. He believed that there was someone who had intruded in his family. And he suffered so much, he became something like a block of ice. When the lady came home joyfully, he found her husband very cold, very remote. He did not look at her anymore. He did not answer her questions anymore. She suffered. She did not know what happened. And both of them suffered very much. And they did not know why and how. And they were punishing each other by withdrawing to themselves. After the offering had been prepared and placed on the altar, the man light incenses and prayed. And after that, he rolled up the mat and he did not allow his wife to pay respect to the ancestors. He thought that his wife had committed adultery, not qualified to present herself before the altar of ancestors. And his wife was humiliated. And after the ceremony, instead of sitting down and enjoy the meal of reunion, he left the house and spent the rest of his day in the liquor shop. His suffering was so huge. He wanted to drown his suffering in alcohol and did not come home until 2 in the morning and slept until 10 in the morning and left again for the liquor shop. And his wife could not bear it anymore. That afternoon, she jumped into the river and got drowned. She committed suicide. When the young father learned about the death of his wife, he came home and took care of the little boy. Night was falling, and he was searching for the kerosene lamp. And when he lit up the lamp, suddenly the little boy said, "Mister, he is my father, he's my daddy." So he pointed the shadow of his father on the wall. "You know, this is my daddy. He used to come every night, and my mother used to talk to him a lot, and she cried a lot. And every time my mother sat down, he sat down." That is the end of the wrong perception. There was no one intruding into the house, just the shadow of his mother, of the boy's mother. what really happened is that one day the boy went home very dirty. And he said, "Mommy, everyone in the village has a daddy. Why don't I have one?" It's a little bit too complicated for the mother to explain what is the army, what is the military service. So she just pointed to her shadow on one and said, "Well, here is your daddy. Say hello to him. Hello, daddy." And of course, she used to talk a lot to her own shadow. She was so lonely. "My dear husband, you have been gone too long. How could I be alone raising our child?" And she cried. And of course, when she sat down, her shadow would sit down also. Right understanding is now available, but it's too late. Mr. Trương is dead. If he had come to his wife and asked for her help, "Darling, how could you have done such a thing to me during my absence?" Because the boy said that a man used to come every night. "How could you have done such a thing to me? I suffer so much. Please explain. I need your help. I love you so. You don't have the right to betray me like that." You have to go to her and ask. But you are full of pride. You suffer so much. You prefer to suffer by yourself alone. That is why you have spoiled everything. And the lady committed the same kind of mistake. She suffered so much, but she did not come to him and ask, "My dear husband, I suffer so much. Why do you treat me like that? Since the time I came home from the market, you did not look at me. You don't look at me. You don't answer any question of mine. Have I done something horrible to be deserve that kind of treatment? Please help. Please tell me why you behave like that." That is communication. Without communication, everything will ruin. And if the lady had done that, the husband will tell her why he behaved like that. You ask me why? The child said that every day someone came and you talk to him, you cry with him. Every time you sit down, he sit down. Every time you lie down, you lie down. That's why I suffer. That's why I did not want to look at you. That is why I did not want to answer your question. And if there was communication like that, Mr. Trương would have had a chance to explain. And there's no death. That is why between you and your beloved one, there should be communication. So that you can make sure that your perception is not wrong. And if you act on the basis of wrong perception, you ruin yourself, you ruin her, ruin him. Because both of you have the capacity to punish. And the more you punish each other, the more you suffer. And that is why both of you need a peace treaty. And next time when you suffer, "Darling, next time I suffer, and if I think that my suffering has been created to you, I will go to you and ask why you have done such a thing. I will not keep my suffering alone. I will not try to punish you, even by my silence or my remoteness, because you can punish by your being remote, by being cold, by your silence. This is also a retaliation, a punishment.